Yo, what is up? Welcome to Ninja Geek Games. In this episode, we're looking at the Isle of Trains, all aboard from Dranda Games, which I believe is a first for me, as this is the first game that I've played set around trains. Yep, and I call myself a gamer. Therefore, I was a little dubious when looking into this, as it's not really a theme that I usually go for. Well, it's a small box, but does it steam ahead in lines with other games that have some great mechanics, components and solo modes, or does it fall off the rails? Come on, there's like 3 puns just in that one sentence. Chew, chew. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. In Isle of Trains, you represent an operator required to build and upgrade a prestigious locomotive, load it with valuable goods and passengers, and make deliveries around the island of trains. To do this, you'll need to manage resources carefully, choose actions wisely, and make use of bonus benefits in order to gain precious victory points in this engine building card game. Let's take a look. This is the setup for the game, where we have island cards and the matching destinations, as well as an assortment of ticket tiles that make up the island. There is an open market of train cards and a progress track, and each player begins the game with a level 1 engine, 2 passengers and a hand of 5 train cards. This neoprene map, the passenger meeples and metal victory point tokens are a deluxe upgrade and not found in the standard version. The aim of the game is to claim the most victory points by collecting and completing primary and secondary contracts from island cards, delivering passengers to certain ticket tiles, and constructing buildings collected from the market area. But to do this, you'll first need to extend your locomotive with the various carriages, all allowing you to load them with different types of cargo. This will take you a number of rounds to complete, but every turn players get just 2 of 4 actions to carry out. Your hand will contain a number of cards made up of engines, train cards or buildings. Each has a cost and cargo type, where buildings have an endgame scoring requirement allowing you to gain bonus victory points, and engines and train cards also have a special benefit to be used during the game and a victory point value. Sometimes you may not have the cards you want or not enough of them, where you can select a card from the market area and put it into your hand. Again, this is true for passengers, where you can take one randomly from a cool looking bag and this is put in your play area. To extend your train, you have to build cards from your hand, and this costs resources, which are other cards in your hand. This means when you extend your train, you need to discard additional cards equal to the cost, and over the course of the game your train will get longer and longer. Instead of extending, you can also upgrade existing train cards to a higher level, whether this be cars or the engine, and in this instance you just pay the difference in cost and swap out the cards. If you have the resources, you can also attempt to construct a building from hand, although costly. These just sit in your play area and provide you with endgame victory points if you meet any of the requirements on the card, and you can only ever have one of these, so if you want to build another of better value, the other needs to be replaced. Now, what's the point of building an extravagant and long train with upgraded engines and cars? Well, you'll want to load the cars with cargo and passengers, as well as deliver these goods around the island. Each train card will show you the cargo type it can have. Passengers just sit on the cards and their colour doesn't really matter just yet. To load other types of cargo, you use cards from your hand matching the type indicated on the train cards and slide them beneath. You can also choose to load your cargo onto another player's train, but why would you do this? Aside from kind of helping them out, which is not the goal, you get to make use of the train car or engine's special ability if you use their train, and I'll talk about these benefits later. You can put the trains to good use to have them make deliveries to various locations around the island. You can drop off passengers to ticket tiles of matching colour and gain a benefit, as well as collect an island card as a primary contract if you deliver the matching cargo requirements. These island cards also have options for a secondary contract that requires even more cargo to be delivered, that provide you with more victory points at the end of the game and provide space to then take another primary contract. You can also carry out multiple deliveries as one action, so you could drop off a meeple, fulfill the primary contract and take the island card, although the passengers need to match the destination of the primary contract destination. As contracts are fulfilled and passengers are dropped off at destinations, this cool looking train meeple will slowly make a way along the progress track, where the game will end when it meets the required stop based on player count. So during the game, although you only have 2 actions, you do have quite a few options to look at. Gaining cards from the market lets you take that sought after building or upgrade, but building extends your train, allowing you to have more options for loading various cargo, but make sure it's not too heavy. How do you deliver cargo? Do you wait until you have a meeple of specific colour to drop off at the same time as taking a primary contract to get that benefit from the ticket tile, or do this as and when required? With such a limited amount of actions to take each turn, you really need to look at getting those bonus benefits from loading on other players' trains or dropping off passengers. These benefits provide a number of cards to take to hand, victory points, bonus actions, or any combination. This is really important because getting a free action from delivery of a passenger may allow you to gain a load of cards and take a free build actions, where you could then upgrade your train, allowing you to get a free passenger for future delivery. Action order is also critical. Those that provide a large number of cards from hand as a bonus benefit may need to be taken first. This is because you can spend those cards as payment for a build action before the end of the round, as you must reduce your hand size to 5. I like the fact that cards in your hand have multiple uses, such as upgrading and extending your train, a resource to pay for a build action, and a specific cargo type to load for deliveries. You can even discard a card to turn a cargo of one type into another type of your choice. Theoretically, you could end up building a train consisting of multiple train cards as far as the eye can see. However, the game has a nice mechanic where your train has an engine capacity, which is the total maximum weight of your extended cards, and this is shown on each engine card. When building, you need to sum the weight of all extended cards to make sure you don't exceed this value, and some carriages can weigh 2 or even 3 points worth, so you'll need to manage your engine upgrades accordingly. At the end of the game, you score victory points from all cards making up your train, any victory points collected on the way, contracts you've completed, leftover cargo and passengers loaded, as well as from buildings. In most circumstances, you only get to have 1 building card in play, so if built early, it may steer you in a particular direction to get the best value from it. Isle of Trains also comes with a very nice solo mode. Now, normally I'm not overly keen on beat your own score, but here I make an exception. The game plays very similar, but you get bonus benefits every time you load your train, which makes it very thinky, and I love it. Also, the deck of train cards that makes up the market area becomes a timer, so make sure you aren't discarding cards recklessly. You can also opt to include 1 of 10 scenarios to spice things up, that either change the way the game plays or your strategy to meet an objective, which is done very well. Some include completing 2 primary or secondary contracts, or filling up multiple ticket tiles with passengers. This is certainly a big game in a small box. I really like figuring out the various ways to get those free bonus actions, or maximising the number of cards that I can claim to build an expensive engine upgrade or building. From this, you can create some solid combos if you are savvy with action order. For a little gameplay variability, setup allows you to randomise which ticket tiles make it into the game, which is always welcome. Isle of Trains is a solid game, mixing nice mechanics, resource management and victory point scoring with a great theme. Out of all the small box games I've played this year, I will certainly choose this one to stay on my shelf. This is Ninja Geek Games. Cheers.